Donald Trump and the entire MAGA regime, you can tell they are not happy about the No King's Day protest taking place this Saturday, the second installment of the No King's Day protest that we saw earlier in the summer, which drew record crowds, one of the largest gatherings in American history. Well, this one coming up on Saturday is already set to surpass the first one. There's already more cities signed up in the U.S. and around the world, and more people registered than previously. This could be one of the biggest protests, if not the biggest protest in American history, and more people are finding out about it. That's why you see Republican Speaker of the House Mike Johnson calling it the Hate America rally. He says people participating hate our country and they're being paid to be there. Imagine thinking you have to be paid to protest Donald Trump. That's rich, because I would personally pay my own money to go and protest him, let alone get paid. That sounds like a dream come true. I'll be making content at several of these protests on Saturday, so follow along and share these videos so more people are aware.
House Majority Whip Tom Emmer is trying to claim the Democrats are keeping the government shut down because of the No Kings protests. And he also, of course, calls it the Hate America rally, saying only a small percentage of people agree with it. Look at this.
To continue this shutdown for what? For a Hate America rally that's taking place in the mall on Saturday, Maria? This is ridiculous. These guys are playing to the most radical, small, and violent base in the country. You'll see them on Saturday on the mall. They just do not love this country.
The No Kings protest, which over 10 million people are going to participate in worldwide, has nothing to do with hating America. It's about rejecting authoritarianism, corruption, and the growing abuse of power in the United States. But instead of actually listening to what millions of people are protesting for, Republican leaders want to demonize them and call them a small radical group. Standing up for democracy and exercising your right to protest is about the most American thing you can possibly do. This movement is about saving the country from leaders who think all the power belongs to them and not the people. It's a demand for accountability, equality, and real representation, not blind loyalty to one man. Emmer's comments are especially hypocritical when you think about how many people on his side defended the January 6th insurrection at our nation's capital. To call peaceful protesters violent for demanding freedom from political corruption is pure projection. They're twisting patriotism into obedience, as if loving your country means you never question the government.
Republicans try to rebrand next weekend's No Kings rally as the Hate America rally. Apparently, rebranding Trump as a decent, lawful person just got too exhausting. This is just another day. Next weekend is October 18th, and while most know it as National No Beard Day, don't worry, Lindsey Graham, I'm talking about this kind of beard. A different occasion will also be taking place.
Thousands are expected to descend about the nation's capital for a No Kings rally. This is video from previous No Kings rallies across the country in June. It is set to take place on October 18th, right in front of the U.S. Capitol. The peaceful movement seeks to send a message to President Trump saying America does not put up with would-be kings.
Yeah, look. I hate to pick on this broadcast, but did you really have to use footage from the least attended No Kings rally in the nation? There were literally 5 million people at rallies across the country. There were tens of thousands of people in Chicago, New York, Minnesota. Did you have to use footage from, like, Beaconsfield, Iowa? We've got footage of a guy who might have not even been protesting. He just happened to stumble out of a Burger King and thought, well, this seems pretty fortuitous. But questionable footage aside, on Saturday, another No Kings rally will be taking place all across our country. It's a chance for citizens to rise up and voice their opposition to the undemocratic actions of this administration, an opportunity to show that this current reign of fascism is not what our nation was founded on. Or, to put it another way,
this Hate America rally that they have coming up for October 18th, it is an outrageous gathering for outrageous purposes, but the Democrats in the Senate have shown that they're afraid of that crowd, that they don't want to bow. They want to bow to them, bow the knee to them, and they don't want to take incoming from them. And so they're willing to hold the American people hostage so that they don't have to face an angry mob that's a big chunk of their base. Now, if that's a rumor, they need to come out and clarify that it's not, but that is what we are hearing is their actual motivation, and it is outrageous.
Oh, apparently you're allowed to start rumors now and then demand that people come out and dispel them if they really are untrue. So, seeing as that's the case, I heard that Speaker Mike Johnson has sex with cars. That's right. The rumor is the Speaker of the House likes to get untoward with a Ford. He yearns to get his peace on with a Nissan. Mike Johnson has never seen a gas tank that didn't want to make him empty his own tank. Now, if that's a rumor, he should just come out and clarify his stance. But again, from everything that I'm hearing, Mike Johnson is a big-time car fucker. And Mike isn't just mad about the rally itself, he is mad about the merch being sold.
They have a Hate America rally that's scheduled for October 18th on the National Mall. It's all the pro-Hamas wing and the Antifa people. They're all coming out. Some of the House Democrats are selling T-shirts for the event.
And here I was thinking that Donald Trump floating the idea of invoking the Insurrection Act to deploy troops on American soil was bad, but that's nothing compared to selling T-shirts. Yes, if there's one thing that is a clear red line for this Republican Party, it's the sale of merch. That's right. If nothing else, today's GOP cares about protecting the sanctity of their politics without looking like grifting con men. If someone even mentions merch, you will not only lose their attention, but also their respect. Because for Trump and Republicans, they're not here to make money. They're here to help the American people, even if they're bankrupted in the process. And the speaker isn't the only Republican doing his damnedest to rebrand this rally.
This is about one thing and one thing only: to score political points with the terrorist wing of their party, which is set to hold, as Leader Scalise just commented on, a Hate America rally in D.C. next week.
Look, maybe I'm not as well-versed as Majority Whip Tom Emmer on scoring political points with terrorists, but I don't think holding peaceful protests around the country really puts the numbers up on the board like he thinks it does. But at least he's doing his part when it comes to following Speaker Johnson's advice.
If we all adopt these practices together and we turn down the rhetoric.
Exactly. Anyone else want to paint this rally as something other than what it is?
October 18th is when the protest gets here. This will be a Soros paid-for protest where his professional protesters show up, the agitators show up.
Oh, that's a great reminder to the millions of Soros employees who showed up to the protest back in June. Do not forget to fill out your time card. You'll only have one person to blame if your paychecks are late, and it won't be George. Anyone else?
If in fact they are waiting for this No Kings protest, no kings means no paychecks.
Wow, I'm pretty thrown here because I thought that no kings was pretty on the nose in its description of what it means. It doesn't mean no paychecks, because presumably that would be the No Paychecks Parade, which is famously at the end of April. But no kings actually means that we don't want to live under a monarchy, hence the whole no kings thing. But I could see how he could get confused, what with Trump's penis in his mouth blocking the flow of oxygen to his brain. And look, there is a reason that Trump and his mouthpieces are so hell-bent on vilifying this peaceful protest. There's a reason that they're trying to prevent millions of people from taking to the streets for what is expected to be one of, if not the largest protest in American history. The reality is that we're not only heading toward an authoritarian takeover of our government, we are in the midst of one. But remember that all of us still have agency. And just as someone told Al Pacino about his libido, while we've still got that, we should use it. This administration has been incredibly effective at getting moneyed interests to capitulate to him over and over again. Universities, law firms, media outlets, all of these institutions have decided that democracy was just too damn expensive, and so they caved. But the reason that they're seeking such consistent attempts at rebranding this No Kings rally is because the one thing that Republicans and Donald Trump can't leverage is the general populace. These guys are trying to scientifically engineer a sense of despair and hopelessness because they also know about the 3.5% rule. Political scientist Erica Chenoweth compiled research that shows it takes around 3.5% of the population actively participating in protest to ensure serious political change, which in America equates to 11 million people. And while that sounds like a lot, the protest in June had 5 million. Or 7 people, depending on which broadcast you watched. But doubling our numbers is doable because we have so much more to be angry about now. Don't forget, this summer's rally was before Donald Trump took healthcare away from millions of Americans. This was before Trump instructed his DOJ to seek retribution on his political opponents. This was before Donald Trump's tariff war destroyed the businesses of farmers across America. And this was before we had to witness ICE agents doing horrific things like this.
Y'all some crazy. Y'all got no heart, for real. No heart. No heart.
That is why we need to show up on Saturday. to send a message to this administration that we are not okay with their authoritarian tactics. Donald Trump and his sycophantic Republicans are desperately trying to rebrand this rally, not because it's some dangerous Antifa meeting, but expressly because they are scared. Because a mass uprising in this country whose participants can't be extorted is extremely dangerous for an administration that derives all of its power from the optics of total control. This gathering on October 18th is a chance to stand up and show that fighting for democracy is a virtuous cause. Because when you've been supporting an autocrat since he started his second term, that is what I'd consider a
Hate America rally.
I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay, I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven, but I've made life a lot better for a lot of people.
I think we call this stage acceptance, right? Isn't this acceptance? I don't know if this is grief or not, but I think this is where he comes around to the terms of the arrangement here and the fact that he's not going to heaven. I mean, how many people here knew he was not going to heaven? But it is nice to hear that he's acknowledging that no matter what he does in the 11th hour, no matter what he does, it's not changing anything. He's not asking for absolution. He's not repenting. He's not asking for forgiveness for anything. He's never once confessed to anything or gone to God and asked for forgiveness. He does not do that because he's a narcissist and he does not need forgiveness because everything he has done is perfect. But it is nice to see that he acknowledges that those pearly gates are not going to accept him. And at this point, well, the devil? And I'm just glad that we can stop wasting time. He went from thinking he wanted to hoping he was going to doing things he thought would get him there, to realizing, time's up. The clock has run out. So it's nice to see that he's finally come around to this acceptance phase. And who knows? Maybe he'll just get even worse because he knows there's nothing for him in the afterlife besides the sweet licking tongues of hell.
Donald Trump's so-called historic peace deal in the Middle East is already broken less than 24 hours later. Now, as you know, there was a ceasefire agreement reached in the Middle East, along with a hostage exchange, which was great news for everyone. But for Donald Trump, it wasn't enough. He had to take it one step further and called it a historic peace deal. For the first time in 3,000 years, there was real peace in the Middle East. Well, less than 24 hours later, the IDF has confirmed that it opened fire on Palestinians, killing 5, saying that they crossed a line that was part of the ceasefire agreement. In addition, they say they haven't fulfilled the hostage release, and so they are going to be limiting the amount of aid that goes in to half of the agreed upon trucks. Now, this can still work. There's still a long way to go, but this shows Donald Trump isn't interested in actual peace. This was all about him. Yesterday's announcement, the whole grandstanding, it was nothing but a way to glorify Donald Trump. He couldn't care less what happens next.
So for MAGA heads and people who are brainwashed, I just have a quick question. Right now, as you bust your ass at work, trying to make ends meet, some of you laid off or whatever because the government is closed. The economy is falling to shambles rather quickly. Right now, as I'm making this video, Trump is sitting with the president of Argentina and giving him $20 billion to bail out their economy, which is in crisis. How do you feel about that? Because it pisses me the hell off. I don't know about you. You're so worried about free healthcare to illegals, which isn't even available to them because you legally have to sign up for it. And if you are quote unquote illegal, you don't have access to those things. You're so worried about the propaganda that's flooding your little brains that you can't see that this president is bailing out a dictator as a dictator of the United States. He does not give a shit about you and I. He does these things in his position of power so he gets some kind of under the table kickback later. So I don't even have to get into the humanitarian issues that come with this Argentinian president. Why aren't you pissed about that?
Everyone who's going to No Kings on Saturday should start off by doing this because you can do it from the comfort of your own home. It's an act of resistance brought to you by the People's Sick Day. If you are not aware, those contest machines, Dominion, yeah, we need to talk about that. So those contest machines were sold and rebranded under the name Liberty Vote. And the new owner is former GOP election official from St. Louis, Scott Linedecker. That is not okay. That should sound a lot of alarm bells. That is not okay. Apparently they thought if they do a rebrand that we wouldn't notice. We noticed, and we're not going to let it slide. We all know what they're trying to do. So this act of resistance that you can do from your home that can get you all hyped up and ready for No Kings is simple. You are going to Google the Board of Elections in your state and in your county, okay? State and county. You are going to call and email them and say, are you planning to use Liberty Vote contest machines? Yes or no? Their answer should be no. Why? Because we want free and fair contests. Make sure they are not using it and make sure they understand why it's so important that they don't use it. And don't stop there. Make sure you're also calling your representatives, Congress people, everyone, especially if you're in a red state, Make sure you are not complying in advance. Use your voices. You can use your voice on a phone call, email, both, anything that we can all do. We have seen that we are really good in numbers. When we work together, we are unstoppable. We've watched it happen time and time again. We are about to have one of the largest music festivals this weekend. Okay? We can do this. We need to make sure our contests are free and fair. Point blank, period. This is your resistance. Go forth.
I don't have any strategy, Manu.
While Donald Trump was heading back to the United States, you had MAGA Mike Johnson being asked by Manu Raju and others in the press during this awful press conference that MAGA Mike held. So what's your strategy here? Like, what are you doing? Like, so Republicans in Congress and the Senate are refusing to speak with Democrats, yet alone negotiate with Democrats. Like, what's the end game here if you refuse to even talk? Like, Democrats are trying to work and negotiate, come up with a strategy to save the health care of tens of millions of Americans who are going to lose their health care. In Pennsylvania, the average health care costs there will go up 103% if you're on the Obamacare Affordable Care Act plan there. So, and we're seeing that in every state. So what are you going to be doing? What's your strategy? MAGA Mike literally says, I have no strategy. Play this clip.
I don't have any strategy, Manu. I'm doing the right thing, the clearly obvious thing, the traditional thing. That's exactly what Chuck Schumer voted for in March of this year and gave impassioned speeches was the right and only thing.
So then MAGA Republican Congresswoman Lisa McClain steps up because she thinks that MAGA Mike there just kind of blew it. And so she's like, all right, here's the strategy. Democrats, just sign the damn agreement. She loses it. Like, just sign the damn agreement. I'm not making it up. Watch as she just becomes completely, she unravels before our eyes. Here, play this clip.
But the way to end this shutdown is really, really simple. Pass the bipartisan clean funding bill that the House approved weeks ago. The Republicans voted to keep the government open. Call your Democratic senators. They're voting to keep it shut, not us.
Morning, guys. Listen, have y'all heard about the Purple Revolution? I've been seeing little tidbits on it, and I found it very uninteresting. And then it started popping up more. And the reason it started popping up more was because of the so-called originator of the Purple Movement, the Purple Revolution. He got his panties in a bunch when he wasn't received the way he thought he should have been received. He thought he could just skip past the years, the decade of MAGA movement, preaching all the hatred, preaching all the violence. He wanted to bypass all that and said, now we should all come together. He wanted the blue team to come over to the red team and let's make purple. He wanted to do all of this without acknowledging what they unleashed on this country. He wanted to do all this without acknowledging and taking accountability for his vote and what it brought to everybody, including himself. And the interesting part was he was only interested in getting together with the blue side when Trump started kicking him in his butt. When it started affecting him, when it started affecting him Now he wants to come together. But he wanted to come together without any type of accountability. He wanted to come together without any type of remorse, of mending. He didn't want to do any type of repenting for his action. He just wanted to say, okay, I don't think it anymore. Now let's get together. Don't work that way. And when people didn't say, well, you know, you're not going to apologize for what you did. You're not going to try to tell people that, you know, you were sorry for your mistake, and you don't want to do any type of you don't want to do any type of healing. You just want to move forward with, let's just go against Trump now. So people weren't receiving that. So then he got mad, said he didn't come on here to worry about nobody's feelings, and he ain't coming on here to apologize over and over again. He's just not going to do it. Okay, fine, don't do it. Nobody cares. But now he's back again. I saw another video where he's back apologizing. My thing is this. Y'all have always said there were more of you than us. So why do you need us for your movement? You didn't need us when you were MAGA down. You didn't need us when y'all were all falling in behind Trump. You didn't even want us. Now you're telling us to join you. Why? You don't need us, remember? There are more you than us. We need what y'all do more than y'all need what we do, remember? That's all y'all been saying, that we need y'all on our side. No, we don't. What you do is, since y'all do not need us, go out there and do it. Go out there and handle it. Show us your remorse by going out here and fixing what you broke. Show us your sincerity about how this is not something that you want. Go out and fix it. Go fix it. You have the numbers behind you. You have the you have the drive behind you. Go fix it. Why are you calling for us? We're not required, remember? We're not needed. I have never seen MAGA in 10 years reach out across the aisle for anything. You guys, you didn't need us, remember? You don't need us now, as far as I'm concerned. You guys are the same people that said, you know, all the things that you said in the last 10 years. So handle it. You brought this into existence, and a movement such as yours should be able to fix it. You broke it, you fix it. We're not coming out there with you. We're not standing shoulder to shoulder, because we did not tear this up. You did. We did not destroy this company. You did. So it's only fair that the person that is responsible for the damage is held accountable for the damage and should be repairing the damage. And the people who have just been affected by it should not have to go out there and risk life and limb to fix something they voted against, that they worked against, that they did everything in their power to prevent from happening. Our job has been done, and now it's your turn. So go get to it. Get to it. You don't need blue. All you need is that same determination y'all have had for the last 10 years. Just go in the opposite direction. Fix it. And when you try to fix it, maybe someone will see that you are really sincere, and they will lend a hand. But until then, all this jaw-jacking you're doing, you can keep that. I'm not impressed by anything until I see all y'all out there with your signs, with your voices, with your representation, speaking out against what you unleashed on this country. Nothing less will move me. No whole bunch of jaw-jacking, no name calling, no saying, oh, y'all just like us. I don't care what you think. Your opinion does not matter. The only thing I want to see is your action. If you are sorry, if you want some change, if you want something different, do it. Until then, leave us alone, because we are not falling for your jaw-jacking. We're not. So, good luck with your purple movement. I'll be watching to see what you guys are up to. Other than that, toodles. But before I do toodles, I just got one little question. MAGA, is it great again yet? I'm only asking for a friend.